Some people think that once you turn 65, waking up tired is just part of life. Others believe that a quick coffee and a muffin are enough to fuel the day. But what if the first thing you put in your mouth each morning quietly determined how strong your heart stayed, how clear your mind remained, and how independent you could be for years to come? What if breakfast wasn't just another meal, but your first line of defense against heart disease, dementia, and decline? Stay with me, because today here on Elderly Reflections, we're about to uncover two simple foods, steeped in elderly wisdom and backed by science, that every senior should eat after 60 for true heart and brain health. And if you think you know them already, you might just be surprised at the powerful life lessons from the elderly we're about to unlock. Let's start with something humble yet mighty: oats. You might think oats are just boring porridge, something you ate as a child or gave up long ago. But oats are one of the most powerful tools you can use to protect your senior health, quietly working behind the scenes every morning you eat them. Rich in soluble fiber, specifically beta-glucan, from your bloodstream, easing the strain on your heart. A 2021 Harvard study found that seniors who regularly consumed oats and other whole grains had a 22% lower risk of heart disease compared to those who didn't. That's not a minor difference. That's the kind of margin that means spending a few extra years walking your granddaughter down the aisle or taking one more cruise to see the Northern Lights. I want to tell you about John, a 72-year-old retired engineer from Michigan. John had always lived what he thought was a healthy lifestyle. Minimal smoking, occasional exercise, but it wasn't until a frightening spike in cholesterol, that he realized breakfast was the battlefield he never thought he had to fight on. John switched from sugary box cereals to a simple bowl of steel-cut oats each morning, adding a few berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon. 6 months later, his cholesterol had dropped by 30 points. His doctor called it impressive. John called it freedom. In his words, it wasn't about a big flashy change. It was a tiny decision every morning that added up to a big win. Elderly reflections like John's remind us that real health transformations aren't overnight miracles. They're small acts of care, repeated day after day. But oats aren't the only warriors you want at your side. Let's move to our second food for today: eggs. Yes, eggs, a food that for years got blamed unfairly for every heart attack and clogged artery imaginable. But now, modern science is rewriting that story. Especially for seniors, eggs are a powerhouse of nutrition, offering one of the richest sources of choline, a nutrient critical for brain health, memory, and emotional balance. In fact, a 2022 study from the University of Eastern Finland found that seniors with higher choline intake performed better on cognitive tests and had significantly reduced risks of cognitive decline over time. And let's not forget, eggs are packed with high-quality protein, something seniors desperately need to stave off sarcopenia, the muscle loss that leads to frailty and falls. Let me share Linda's story. Linda is a 68-year-old retired teacher living in the hills of Ireland. Like many seniors, she started struggling with brain fog, forgetting appointments, losing track of names she used to know by heart. Her doctor recommended expensive supplements, but Linda, believing in the old-school elderly wisdom passed down by her mother, decided to try something simpler first: 2 eggs each morning, paired with spinach and a slice of whole grain toast. 3 months later, Linda reported sharper memory, improved mood, and a return of passions she thought she'd lost forever. Painting, journaling, laughing without struggling to find the right words. Linda said, "It was like someone turned the lights back on in my mind." Her story isn't rare. It's what happens when seniors reclaim their mornings with intention, building a daily ritual not just around eating, but around healing. Now you might be thinking, is it really that easy? And here's the truth: no food is a magic bullet. But when you start your day with oats to nourish your heart and eggs to awaken your mind, you set a powerful tone for the hours ahead. It's a quiet kind of motivation, the type that builds resilience day after day. That's the kind of daily inspiration we believe in here at Elderly Reflections, where quotes and life lessons from the elderly aren't just nice sayings, they're survival strategies. They're blueprints for living longer, living sharper, living with dignity. So next time you sit down for breakfast, ask yourself, am I eating for convenience, or am I eating for my future? Because after 60, every decision carries weight, and every choice can either extend your freedom or slowly steal it away without warning. And here's the good news. Tomorrow morning, you get another chance. Oats and eggs, 2 simple allies in your fight for strength, clarity, and purpose. But we're just getting warmed up. In the next part, I'm going to reveal 2 more breakfast heroes, including one food hiding quietly in your fridge right now. that can make a dramatic difference in how your heart and brain age over the next decade. It's a food most seniors overlook, but once you know its secret, if this resonates with you, don't forget, click the like button, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and turn on the bell so you never miss a chance to fuel your inspiration and motivation. And please tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Your journey matters, and I can't wait to hear your story. When you think about your breakfast after 60, you might picture the basics: toast, coffee, maybe a bit of fruit. But what if the foods you're skipping are quietly stealing your vitality, day by day? Here on Elderly Reflections, we believe breakfast isn't just about tradition or habit. It's a strategy for survival, a moment of inspiration to set the tone for resilience, strength, and mental sharpness. As we previously discussed, we uncovered the hidden power of oats and eggs, two simple allies in the quest for better senior health. But we're not stopping there. Today, let's go deeper into the kitchen and find two more overlooked heroes that could make all the difference. Starting with a food that might be hiding in your fridge right now, just waiting to become your secret weapon. Let's talk about Greek yogurt. Not the sweet flavored kinds packed with sugar, but plain, creamy, protein-rich Greek yogurt. If you've been underestimating this food, it's time to think again. Greek yogurt isn't just a delicious breakfast option, it's a potent source of casein protein, which digests slowly, feeding your muscles and brain with a silent thief. Robbing seniors of strength and independence, studies show that seniors who consume adequate protein daily have better mobility, balance, and fewer falls. But there's something even more powerful about Greek yogurt. It's packed with probiotics, the good bacteria that strengthen your gut. And science has shown a direct link between gut health and brain health. Seniors with stronger gut flora experience less cognitive decline, lower inflammation, and better mood regulation. That's all connected. Think about Eleanor, a 74-year-old retired librarian from Ontario. She lived independently, but in recent years she felt her energy fading. Small tasks exhausted her, and she struggled with bloating and irregular digestion, which made eating a chore instead of a pleasure. At the advice of a friend, Eleanor started adding half a cup of plain Greek yogurt to her breakfast every morning, sometimes with blueberries, sometimes with a sprinkle of flax seeds. In less than 2 months, her digestion improved dramatically, her energy stabilized, and she found herself taking daily walks again, something she hadn't enjoyed in years. Eleanor told me, smiling, "I feel like I rebuilt my foundation from the inside out." That's the kind of elderly wisdom we live for here. Small choices, big transformations. Now, if Greek yogurt supports your gut and muscles, our next food focuses sharply on your heart and brain. With benefits so powerful it almost feels unfair to keep it a secret. I'm talking about berries, specifically blueberries and blackberries. These vibrant little fruits aren't just beautiful to look at. They're packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that protect your brain cells from oxidative stress, reduce inflammation, and enhance blood flow to critical areas of your mind. A landmark study by Harvard researchers found that seniors who consume 2 or more servings of berries per week showed slower rates of cognitive decline, as if their brains aged 2.5 years slower compared to those who rarely ate berries. Imagine what that could mean for your memory, your focus, your ability to stay independent longer. And it's not just theory. Consider Harold, a 70-year-old grandfather from South Carolina. Harold had always prided himself on his sharp mind, but when he started forgetting small things, the names of his grandkids' friends, the locations of his car keys, he worried. Rather than jumping straight to medications, he decided to fight naturally first. Harold began eating a small bowl of fresh blueberries every morning with breakfast. Within 4 months, not only did his memory sharpen, but his blood pressure dropped as well. His doctor called it remarkable. Harold called it redemption. As Harold told me once, "I realized the best kind of motivation doesn't come from fear. It comes from love for the life you still have left to live." Think about that. Your breakfast doesn't just feed your body, it feeds your future. And when you bring Greek yogurt and berries into your mornings, you're not just eating, you're building resilience, cell by cell, memory by memory, heartbeat by heartbeat. You're honoring the elderly reflections of those who lived before us. Those who understood that true inspiration isn't loud, it's quiet, steady, and powerful. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for another donut or instant coffee, stop. Ask yourself, is this fueling my heart, my brain, my dreams, or is it slowly pulling me away from them? Because here's the hard truth, no one else is going to fight for your health the way you can. No one else can make those small, powerful choices for you. And the best time to start? It's now. Not next year, not after the next doctor's visit. Building on that, let's move on to the final two breakfast heroes. One, an ancient food revered for its life-giving powers for centuries, and the other, a surprising twist you may have never considered for your morning routine. If you thought the first four foods were important, you'll be amazed at what's coming next. If you're finding value here today, please take a second, like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and tap that bell so you never miss a chance to grow wiser, stronger, and more alive with every sunrise. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I truly want to hear your story, because every journey adds to this powerful community of motivation and inspiration. There's a quiet power in the early morning hours, especially after 60. Before the world fully wakes up, before the phone starts ringing, there is a window of time, small but precious, where you get to choose how you nourish yourself. Earlier, we discussed the strength of oats and the brain-boosting brilliance of eggs, and we also uncovered the deep healing powers of Greek yogurt, along with the vibrant protection found in berries. But we're not done yet, because now, I want to share two final foods that complete the picture. Two ancient secrets that seniors across Europe and America are rediscovering, and two foods that could quietly change the course of your days, your months, and even your years. The first is an old favorite returning with new respect: nuts and seeds, particularly walnuts and flax seeds. You might already know that nuts are healthy, but you might not realize just how critical they are for seniors aiming to protect both heart and brain health. Walnuts are packed with alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that supports heart rhythm, reduces inflammation, and even nurtures blood flow to critical parts of the brain. Flax seeds, similarly, are loaded with fiber and lignin, natural plant compounds that help lower blood pressure and regulate cholesterol. A meta-analysis published in 2020 found that seniors who incorporated nuts and seeds daily had a 39% lower risk of cognitive decline and significantly better vascular health compared to those who didn't. That's not a marketing gimmick. That's raw science and centuries of elderly wisdom coming full circle. Take Richard, a 76-year-old former military officer from Vermont. After a mild stroke, Richard was determined not to become another statistic. His daughter, a dietitian, helped him rebuild his mornings around healing foods. Every day, Richard added a tablespoon of ground flax seeds to his oatmeal, tossed a handful of walnuts into his yogurt, and switched to plant-forward breakfasts. Today, 3 years later, Richard hikes 3 miles every morning before breakfast. He says, "It's not about eating less, it's about eating smarter." His story is a powerful reminder that even after life throws its hardest punches, with the right motivation and inspiration, we can rise again. Now, for our final breakfast hero, one that might surprise you: green tea. Yes, green tea for breakfast. While it's often overlooked in favor of coffee, green tea is a fountain of antioxidants called catechins, which have been shown to enhance heart health, boost brain function, and even promote longevity. In fact, a groundbreaking Japanese study following over 40,000 participants found that seniors who drank green tea daily had a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline. Green tea works gently without the jarring caffeine spike of coffee, supporting steady alertness and calm focus. Let me tell you about Margaret, an 82-year-old retired nurse from England. Margaret spent years struggling with blood pressure swings and anxiety, especially in the mornings. Her doctor recommended meditation. Margaret chose something simpler, replacing her morning coffee with 1 cup of high-quality green tea. Within months, she found her blood pressure stabilizing, her anxiety decreasing, and her mind sharpening again. Margaret's quote sticks with me even now: "I didn't just slow down my body, I gave my brain space to breathe." Elderly reflections like hers remind us that sometimes the gentlest changes have the loudest echoes. Imagine your breakfast plate now: a bowl of steel-cut oats with a tablespoon of flax seeds, a small handful of walnuts, 2 eggs scrambled with spinach, a few juicy blueberries, and a cup of calming green tea. You're not just eating a meal, you're stacking the deck in your favor. You're sending a message to your heart, your brain, your future self that you still care, that you are still writing new chapters, that you believe in a life filled with vitality, not decline. And here's the deeper truth: it's never too late. Whether you're 65, 75, or even 85, your body is always ready to heal when you give it the right tools. Senior health is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about waking up each day with a quiet confidence that comes from fueling your resilience, your memory, your independence. That's what elderly wisdom has taught us over generations. And those life lessons from the elderly are more needed now than ever. So tomorrow morning, don't just reach for whatever's convenient. Build your breakfast with intention. Let it be a ritual of self-respect. A quiet revolution happening one meal at a time, because every bite you take can either become part of your healing or part of your hurt. And the most beautiful part, you get to choose. You get to lead the way for yourself, for your loved ones, and for the countless memories still waiting to be made. Before we end, let's remind ourselves, the power is already in your hands. Oats, eggs, Greek yogurt, berries, nuts and seeds, green tea. These aren't just foods. They're building blocks of a future you can be proud of. They are simple, small victories that, stacked together, become a life of strength, clarity, and meaning. If you've found this journey helpful, if you feel even a spark of motivation, I invite you, like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and tap the bell so you never miss a new inspiration, a new quote, or a new story grounded in real life, real challenges and real hope. And please, don't leave without telling me, where are you watching from? Your voice matters, your story matters, because together, through the reflections of the elderly and the lessons we share, we can all live wiser, stronger, and fuller every single day.